Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jasmine. For those who are new, I'm a casual reseller on the US and Canadian Poshmark app as well as eBay. Today's video is going to be a talk through over how to sell on Posh US from Canada. I did make a video on this topic a long time ago, but because I have a few new viewers and there are a few changes as well, I will just do an updated version. As always, if you like reselling content like this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Okay, so to make things simple, I have like a step-by-step kind of process that you should be doing in order to sell on Posh US. The first thing is to get approval from Poshmark to open a second closet. Now, when I first started my US closet, I actually didn't do this and it was totally fine, but I heard that some people were running into problems when they tried to open a closet without getting the approval, so it's always best to just do that first. Just send them an email and ask if it's okay if you open up a second closet. So in order to open up a second closet, you have to have a different username, obviously, and you have to use a different email address. Basically, you're going to be using the same app on your phone, but you're going to be logging in using the different emails. So one email will be used to log into your Posh Canada closet, and then the other email will be used to log into your Posh US closet. The next step that I would probably do relatively early is to fill out this form. I will leave it in the description box below, but basically it's just saying that you aren't a resident of the States, because after you reach a threshold of $600 in sales, Poshmark will stop sending you shipping labels unless you either submit your tax information or if you fill out this form. So it's best to do it early just so that there isn't any holdup when you actually do reach that threshold and then you do have sales coming in but you can't receive the shipping label. So again, I will leave the link to that form in the description box. It'll probably take like 2 minutes to fill out. The next step is to find a cross-border shipper close to you or relatively close to you in order to ship out your packages. So because Posh US, once you make a sale, you receive a USPS shipping label, you need some sort of way to deliver all your packages to USPS. A cross-border shipping company is basically a company that does that. You would drop off all your packages to this company and they charge a small fee and they will deliver your packages across the border to a USPS postal office. So the company that I use is Stallion Express. It is located in Ontario in the GTA area. There is one location in Montreal and one location in Richmond, BC. Of course, there are other shipping companies like Stallion Express if you aren't in these areas that I mentioned. There is a company called DYK Post, for example, that is located in Edmonton. So what I like about Stallion Express is that once they scan my items, it actually starts tracking on the Posh app right away. It doesn't actually have to be delivered to a USPS post office before it starts tracking. So that way your shipping times aren't like that skewed and you can keep your shipping days down. In addition to dropping off your packages over the border, they also give you a US address that you can put into your Posh account, and that's the address that you will get all your returns if you do get a return. Now, the problem with shipping over the States is that getting a return is a very big hassle because you need an importing number in order to get your US package back across to Canada. And you do have to pay the company a fee as well. I don't know how much the fee is. Sometimes it's just more worthwhile just to dispose of the item, or if you have family and friends that live in the States, you can change your address on the Posh account into like your friends or family's address just so that you can get your returns that way. I fortunately have only had like 2 or 3 returns and they weren't really high dollar items. You just kind of have to weigh the pros and cons with, you know, the fee that you have to pay the shipping company and if it's actually worthwhile to get the item back. Of course, if it's a higher dollar item, then I would do that, but you do have to apply for an import number, I think, through the Canadian tax website. The next step would be to sort out how you're going to get paid. So since I started selling on Posh US, there are a couple of different ways that you can get paid. There is an instant transfer, which is, I think, to a US bank account. It has a fee of $2. You can get a PayPal transfer, which you can use your Canadian PayPal account. That is 35 cents. You can use a Venmo, which is also 35 cents. Your bank account, which there is no fee, and then a check, which they would mail out in a couple of weeks. I did consider using just PayPal because it's simple, it's cheap, and I actually did transfer some money to my PayPal account, but I did notice that there is a significant difference between the PayPal exchange rate from USD to Canadian compared to, let's say, if I were to use Transferwise. Transferwise is basically an online bank which can receive funds outside of your home currency, and then it converts it to your home currency, and then that way you can receive funds from Transferwise to your Canadian bank account. If you happen to have a US-based bank account, you don't actually have to do this step. As long as you have a routing number and then the account number, I'm sure it will be fine. I think there's one branch, I think it's RBC, that actually has this, but I don't bank with RBC, so I've never tried it. But I think I have read that RBC does have a US-based bank account, so you can actually neglect this step. So like I said, I have been using Transferwise because the exchange rate for USD to Canadian is higher on Transferwise. The fee that they take in order to convert the dollars from USD to Canadian is actually less than 1%. But I noticed that the exchange rate between PayPal and Transferwise was like 6 or 7 cents. So that does accumulate and make a big difference, and definitely less than 1%. So even though it is an extra step, you definitely will be saving and earning more money if you set up this Transferwise account. Another thing that I want to mention when you do open a Transferwise account is you have the option to either open a personal one or a business one. I honestly don't know what the difference is, but I personally opened up a personal account, and I also signed up for one of their credit cards. That way, when I'm traveling to the States, I can just use this US credit card instead of using my Canadian one. If you're interested in setting up either a Stallion Express account or a Transferwise account, I will leave my referral codes in the description as well. I think you get a free transfer for Transferwise on your first transfer, and then on Stallion, I think you get $25 in credits. Okay, so now that you've set up your US Posh account and also your bank account, basically you're all set up to start listing onto your account. Unfortunately, there's no like easy way to like automatically transfer all your listings on Posh Canada to Posh US. I personally don't pay for any service to either share my closet or to cross-list. I do use Cross-List Magic, I think it's called. It's a Google Chrome extension and it's free. I can easily cross-list from my Posh Canada or my Posh US closet back to the other and vice versa. Now, once you make a sale, you will get emailed a USPS shipping label. You would, pack your item like normal. And then before you drop it off to your third-party shipping company, you actually have to input all the information into the account. So I made an example of a label that you might have. Enter the name, the address onto the website. You have to include some sort of manifest, so you have to list what is in the package. And even though not all cross-border shipping companies will look like this, it is similar in the way that you have to create some sort of manifest so that they know what they're carrying over to the States. Finally, you have to weigh your package and measure it out if it weighs a little bit more. And then based on that, there is a fee. So in my example, you can see that there is a fee. So for the most part, small parcels are 70 cents for me. Larger, heavier parcels are 80 cents and boxes are 90 cents. If it's a really heavy box, then I have to pay $2.99 for the boxes. But as I mentioned, setting up a Posh US account will open up more buyers to your items, things that are more popular or brands that are more popular in the States, you'll have a larger audience to sell to. Now that you've filled out that, you can see it listed under your shipments, but the item will still be pending. Now this is a step that I didn't know you had to do until fairly recently, is that you have to create a batch and print out a batch label. If you're using Stallion Express where you are actually buying a shipping label from the website, you don't have to create a batch label. A batch label, I guess it just makes it easier for the company to scan all the packages because all the items and packages that are under the same batch, I guess when they scan the batch label, it will show up all at once, so they don't have to individually scan each package. Basically, after you have all your shipments that you're going to be dropping off for the day, you have to select all your shipments, create a new batch, and you actually have to close the batch. And after the batch is closed, then you can ship out a batch label and you just drop it off at the same time that you're dropping all your packages. I have forgotten to print out batch labels in the past and it hasn't really had any effect on my sales. They have still scanned properly as long as all the information is written in your account. I think I had to contact Stallion Express for some reason and they notified that I had to do this batch kind of process. So if you do use Stallion Express and you don't already do this, you're supposed to. And that's basically all I have to say, is that you're supposed to. So I think I've covered all the points that I wanted to. If you have any questions about the process, just leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them for you. But as I mentioned, selling on Posh US it's such a great opportunity as Canadians because of the conversion rate. You know, you don't have to pay the 20% fee, and of course there are brands that are more popular in the States compared to in Canada. Let me know if you guys have any other video requests. I love to hear your requests because I get a better idea of what videos I should make. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!